Right, good morning guys. So, just been down to Hastings. Do you mind? It's noisy. Yeah, you. Just been photographing some fish for a fisherman. He's got the fisheries here. And now just going for a little walk. It's a beautiful morning, absolutely stunning. Tide's out. Don't shit on me. Yeah, so basically I'm just going to snap away a little bit here. And, I've got actually both cameras with me, so I've got the A7riv IV with me and the RX10 as well. And the funny thing is the fisheries is called RX fisheries, which is quite amusing, and it's to do with the area. So I think Rye, Hastings, and I'm not sure what else is actually. The boats are generally RX. Apparently there's one RX boat, an old fishing boat, that's actually up in Scotland somewhere, I believe. But yeah, so I'm going to snap a few pictures here. I've actually got the Pinhole lens with me as well, so to go on the A7riv IV. I might do a little bit of long exposure, a little bit of old-fashioned sort of black and white photography with the Pinhole. See how it looks. Plus some modern stuff as well. Yeah, from there really, but absolutely lovely. I'm going to. I didn't video photographing the fish or anything like that because it was pretty boring, but I'll put some pictures in the video just so you can kind of see. Plenty of bird activity this morning. Be interesting to see what other birds live up in these on the cliffs here. There's the old caves up that end. You can't really get up in there very easily anymore, but years ago we used to go up there as kids and stuff. Old smugglers' caves. There's a fishing boat out to sea there. That's a few more. So yeah, so let's have a little walk, take a few snaps, and see how it goes. So predominantly I was using the A7riv IV, but as having a camera in the bag that you can basically utilise in many different ways, the RX10 suddenly becomes a really useful tool, I believe, and I use it all the time. So here's some of the shots that I took on the A7riv IV. So using the 35mm f1.4 Samyang works really nicely, and you know, even shooting into the sun and stuff like that, absolutely fine. There's no drama whatsoever. And you know, even shooting with the 135G master, taking a couple of interest shots outside of near where the fisheries are, it absolutely fine. So down on the beach, snapping away. This is an RX10 shot. Absolutely lovely, and I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference. This is with the 35mm Samyang with a flash, just bouncing off the wall, a little bit of lighting, just to go on the website. Same here, but the RX10 could do this with no real drama whatsoever. It would work absolutely fine. So there's no real reason why it can't actually do the job. And in some respects it does have benefits. One, the smaller sensor in good lighting, which if you're creating it yourself, gives you a little bit more depth. So where sometimes if you get the settings a little bit wrong, you can end up with a shallower depth of field on full frame. And like I said a moment ago, the RX10, because that smaller sensor, it can give you a little bit more depth. So shooting at f5.6 gives you a sort of 35mm equivalent of about f11 to 13. So in some respects, yeah, you sometimes would like a shallower depth, and it couldn't do that. But because it's got so much range, and at f5.6 you've got a lot more light, you can keep your ISOs down, but also have faster shutter speeds compared to if I stop down to f11, f13 on the full frame camera. So there is benefits in both sides. From the RX10, working beautifully. Yeah, the light was great, but really good shots. Absolutely perfect, really. Really happy that I actually bought it. I was going to leave it at home, but I thought, you know, I'll stick it in the bag just in case I need to just grab it quickly. The fact that you can shoot out to sea for miles really easily. Video is pretty good. The only downside is the stabilisation on video doesn't seem to be all that steady compared to the 5-axis stabilisation on the A7riv IV. And I think what we'll see in the next camera, hopefully it does arrive, the RX10 Mark V or whatever they decide to call it, is better stabilisation, because at the end of the day it's lens stabilisation or steady shot or whatever you want to call it in the RX10 Mark IV. It's 3.5 to 5 years old, the technology, maybe even longer, so it still does really well, but you can see there's a little bit of judderiness where I'm shaking slightly, you know, so you know it's not perfect, but obviously you can add a little bit of stabilisation if you want to, you know, so anyway, other than that, the camera is awesome. You know, it can be used as a professional tool or alongside your other cameras to help do a certain job. It's a bit like using your mobile phone now. I use my mobile phone to do documentation and, you know, videoing down the side. So, you know, it's amazing what the technology has done for us. You know, generally, I think it's, you know, really amazing what we can actually get done today. And having, for example, that 24 to 600mm lens adds so much scope to, you know, a small package in your bag. You can grab it, you've got the full range as you want it, and obviously the actual quality itself is very good. As long as you keep it down around about ISO 100 to 400 area, you know, you're looking at good quality. So I don't think we have any issues at all. And the speed, you know, is basically as fast as an A9. It's a stacked sensor. You know, you can shoot up to 132,000 per second. You can do the slow motion on it. There's loads of things it can do that a lot of other cameras can't do, even the new ones. So, you know, there's some benefits with that camera that, you know, actually outweigh the fact that it's a 1-inch sensor and a smaller body, you know, and a fixed lens at the end of the day. So, you know, any thoughts on that, guys? What do you think? Yeah, leave a comment below. Any questions about the RX10 or the A7R IV or any other Sony cameras, give us a shout. No problem at all. But as you can see, that's off from the RX10 Mark IV. Absolutely lovely shot, sharp as you like, and I've cropped in quite heavily on that as well, just to give you a bit more appearance on detail and things like that. And oh yeah, I've converted to black and white just for a different look, but you know, it just shows you how good it is. There you go, it's RX100, which is quite funny. Shame it's not RX10, but RX100 coming in. Been out fishing or whatever. As you can see there, a little bit of vibration from me shaking slightly, but still, like, the quality is all fine. But if I was to add some stabilisation into the video, it would look fine. But I just want to keep it as realistic as possible, so you can kind of see there is a little bit of movement there. You know, quite a bit actually. It's probably because I needed something to eat. That's probably why. But yeah, so not a bad morning. But like I say, it gives you a little bit of difference in the two cameras, and you'll be hard pushed to tell you the difference between the full frame and the 1-inch sensor. Obviously there is a quality difference between the full frame A7R IV and the RX10 Mark IV, but in good lighting and you know, the colours, I set both cameras up roughly the same, so you know, the colours should be pretty good. You know, and I'm not really editing the images at all. You know, obviously the fishing shots inside, like the smoke fish and stuff, was shot with a flash, but all the outside stuff was basically the same settings, pretty much. Obviously shutter speeds are slightly different, but the ISO was the same. You know, so yeah, and obviously the white balance was both on auto white balance with white priority. I use it on, just seems to give me a more accurate colour. So yeah, haircut today as well. So lockdown haircut goes. So have that in a little while. I'm gonna get some breakfast first in a minute, and then a little bit of food. Be nice. What a perfect day though. It's actually really warm. I don't know why I'm wearing a fleece, but then suddenly it wasn't -5 this morning when I woke up. Very chilly. Big heavy frost. The weather at the moment is all over the place. So anyway, right, I'm going to snap some shots, head home, get some breakfast, go and have a haircut, and then go and enjoy the rest of the day, I think. Don't know what I'm going to do when I've done my editing, but let's get that done. Right guys, so now I've got the pinhole lens on. We've got a boat coming in. So just thought I'd walk down this way, try and bit of an interest shot.
See how it looks really. That's pretty cool. Lovely morning.
So with this adapted pinhole lens, I just think it's actually great. It just adds a completely different dimension to photos that we're so used to today, and I think to recreate something a little bit old looking, you know, like this, just adds a little bit of charm to the old boats and things like that. So, you know, there's some modern containers there and stuff like that, but generally you're just sort of looking towards the boats, the wooden frames, and you know, the hulls and everything. And I think it just looks a little bit interesting. The detail isn't there on like modern cameras have, you know, so it is, you're shooting through a pinhole. It's amazing that you can even get that. This is really weird. So when you aim it at the sun a little bit and actually rotate it, you end up with this amazing, crazy sort of I don't know, rainbow effect, and then even in black and white it's still a bit crazy. So yeah, it is best to shoot away from the sun, that I worked out. But yeah, it just adds an old kind of feel into the shots, and I thought, well, it's a really old place. Smugglers from hundreds of years ago used to be in the caves up the top there. The fishing boats have been there for years and years and years as well. So I think it was just a bit different, bit of fun, and yeah, just enjoyed myself really. So yeah, with this last shot here was the 135G Master. You can tell by the huge shallow depth of field we have there, but a nice sharp seagull there. Absolutely love that lens and camera. But back to the RX10 quickly. Brilliant combo. I'm actually loving. I know there's a few other people out there who've got the same combo as me with either the R3 or the R4 with the RX10 Mark IV, and they enjoy using them both as well. But for me, it's just handy having that backup in the bag that gives you so much range. You know, the fact that I would have had to bring a couple of other lenses with me and stuff like that I probably wasn't even going to use. You know, and I like to carry a smaller bag nowadays. It just makes me a little bit more mobile, and you know, I can get stuff done a little bit easier. So having that all-in-one camera in the bag actually just opens up another avenue of different shots you can get, stuff like that. So yeah, worked really nicely. Like I say, guys, random with the pinhole, but I thought while I'm down there, some old stuff, I thought I'd just put that in the video as well. So I hope you didn't find it too boring. Like I say, any questions about any of this, any of your thoughts, feel free to leave them below, because we all have our own opinions at the end of the day. And please click that subscribe button as well, and the little notification bell, and thumbs up as well if you liked it. And I shall see you soon.